Hey, so today I am coming on because I want to chat about a conversation I had with a colleague of mine. And we were talking about her plan and what she had planned the last time she sat down and made this big plan, and how she never feels like she can get anything done. She struggles to complete any of her projects. She tends to start something before finishing something, the first thing that she started. She kind of has a hard time figuring out what to work on, and she just sits down and has an hour to work on something. And little blips in her schedule really throw her off. So she tends to feel like she can't get back on track. And I find this happens a lot with entrepreneurs who are scheduling or planning, not scheduling, but planning on a quarterly basis. At least this is what happens for me, and I find this happens for a lot of other people too, is that planning on a quarterly basis is a long period of time, right? It's 3 full months. A lot can happen in 3 months, and there's a lot that we want to get done. And so we tend to put a lot of projects in that short period of time. Now, really quick, if you're joining me on the replay, comment below with hashtag replay and let me know. What happens is that in a quarterly plan, you have 3 full months, and you tend to think, oh my gosh, I can get so much done in my 3 months, and I'm going to go gangbusters, and I'm super motivated, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to get, all the stuff done. And when reality hits, life happens and things come up, and we're not able to always meet the plan and the schedule that we set out to do. And so I suggest that you plan on a monthly basis instead. And in your monthly plan, you only plan one project at a time. And keeping one project at a time is so helpful, because what it does is it eliminates that frustration and that overwhelm of having another project right behind it that absolutely, you put it on the schedule, it's got to get done, right? So you absolutely need to get done. And instead, what it does is it allows you to stay super focused on your one project. Of course, you're still working hard to get it done in the time that you said, but when you do one project at a time, you typically can open up enough time to get it done, instead of squeezing your time down to a very small amount or an unrealistic amount. And you're more successful, right? You're more successful in completing your projects. And think about how that can feel if you are completing your projects consistently, on time, and the amount of stress that's involved with just running a business in general, with everything else that you have going on. I'm sure you have, maybe you have another job. I'm sure you have a partner, or you have kids, and there's a lot of things to get done. So adding multiple projects to your list is really counterintuitive, and it almost sets you up for failure. So let's just say it's the new quarter, and you are sitting down to do your planning, and you put out 2 hours of time to do your planning, and you create this awesome plan, right? And you have all these things that you want to get done, and you get it on your schedule, and you block out your time like you're supposed to, okay? And then life happens. And now not only are you not getting done what you planned, but you're frustrated because you aren't meeting your deadlines and you haven't finished anything. You're not progressing as quickly as you would have liked, or that you had planned, right? And you're feeling super overwhelmed because not only have you not finished the first thing on your list, but you have all these other things that have piled up that are down the line on the calendar that are going to have to get pushed out. And it's really hard to say, okay, if this thing pushes out, how does it affect everything else? So planning one project at a time, even though you know what is coming next, but you haven't put the effort into planning it, because also things can change, right? Especially when you're growing a business. So if you plan one project at a time instead of that entire quarter, you stick to either 1 month or one project, and you work from it from start to finish. And the cool thing is that you're not setting yourself up to fail. So now you have this success model, essentially, right? Where you can stay super motivated. Once it's done, you know you can move on to the next thing, and there's not that stress and that overwhelm involved, which is super cool. You can stay focused on that one thing, which a lot of people who are building a business have a hard time with, because there's so many things to do. And if you also give yourself some additional time than what you initially anticipate it will take. So let's just say your one project, you're saying, okay, I'm going to create my lead magnet, and that lead magnet is going to take me a week. Well, there's a lot of different steps in creating a lead magnet. You have to not only create it, but you have to do your graphics for it, and you have to do your landing page, and write promotion posts on social media, and you have to write your email sequence that goes after it. There's so many things involved, right? So your one project now becomes all these tasks, and really, is it going to take you 1 week? It probably is going to take you longer. So I would suggest that you double, 2 times the amount of time that you initially anticipate, so that you give yourself plenty of time. You can start another project early. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you need that 2 weeks, you've blocked it out, and now you haven't created a situation of stress and frustration and overwhelm in your life, okay? Now, the other part of all of this that comes into play, and I've touched on it already, but things come up in our lives that we don't anticipate, especially as a mom. Your kids can get sick. That's like, especially coming up into, if you're coming into the fall season or the winter season, that can happen a lot, and it can really mess up your whole schedule. Something can happen with your car or with your husband's car or whatever it might be. Like, things just come up. It's just life. And if you put so much into your schedule so that you have no flexibility whatsoever, then you really are putting yourself in a position to just feel stressed and not getting anywhere. So give yourself some wiggle room. Don't overcommit yourself. Be okay with the fact that it might take you a little bit longer than you originally anticipated, and that's okay. Okay? So, hey, before I let you go today, I would love for you to look back at the last time that you did some planning for yourself in your business, and maybe it was like this last quarter, because we're at the end of the third quarter, and look at all the projects that you plan to do. And I would love to know how many projects you plan. So just a number. Was it 4? Was it 5? Was it 10? How many projects? And the number of projects you completed in the time that you set, when you planned. So if you had said, 5 of these projects are going to take me a week, how many of those did you complete in the week? Okay? Then I want you to come over to my Facebook group, and I want you to post that in the group so that we can continue the conversation there. Okay? Awesome. So glad that you joined on today, and I will talk to you soon.